Greetings, everyone. I'm about to leave another unsolicited advice to another YouTuber, a YouTube family that I watch and really like. So let me get that out of the way. Now, we're talking about the Carter family, Jamaican couple, who are doing very well, shaking and moving in this YouTube atmosphere and doing very well. I watch a lot of their videos and I enjoy their family vlog, and it's nice to see, a certain representation of Jamaica in this world wide web, mostly positive. But I have some things to say. And like every other situation where I have spoken candidly on anything that I observe on social media, you have to then face people who are supporters. So though I support this family, what I'm saying is going to be misunderstood, but that's okay. I'm appealing to Chrissy to understand that my arguments that I'm presenting here is not one to attack you, and it's not one where I am jealous, because sometimes when we give advice, unsolicited advice, albeit, people will say you're jealous or you want clout or all of that, but it's okay. Bottom line is, Chrissy, you and your husband are doing so fantastic, and you have a beautiful little family on social media. But I watched your video yesterday and I am saying something, and I don't care if you or your husband or your followers try to come and attack me. Someone need to say it to you, because as African people, from Jamaica, we have a lot to be proud of, but we have a history that we must never forget. Now, I was watching your video when you're going to the zoo with your family. What a beautiful occasion. We are watching you and sort of living vicariously through you in this pandemic. But you said something yesterday, and I said I'm going to address it. Someone would say, why not address it privately? No, I don't have time to address anything privately. You did it publicly. Now you're joking, and we recognize that you're joking, but some of the things we say around children, even in joke, you don't know how they internalize that. So you're saying that you're going to the zoo and you're joking with your husband that he's going to see his family, and he's saying the same thing about you. But you took that conversation and you sort of put it in a way that I could not ignore. You said that your husband is black, and so he's going to visit with his monkey family. And I don't understand that conversation, because you have a dark-skinned daughter. And more than likely, your baby is probably dark-skinned. I suspect the baby is dark-skinned because you say the baby looks like the dad and all of that. Now, how do you think your daughter feels when she hears this? She lives in the United States of America and she goes to school, and there are times when kids are going through things at school and they don't always share it with their parents. Maybe yours tell you everything, I don't know. But there are times when kids are feeling a particular way about a certain thing and they can't articulate it. So when a child hear her light-skinned mom tell her dark-skinned father that he's going to the zoo to visit his family because he's black, you do it all the time, Chrissy. I've seen an episode with you where you were saying that your husband was at the back. He was like a black spot on the wall. Chrissy, I know you know what you're doing, and though some of it might come across as jest, you still have to be responsible for the way you speak to your husband in front of your children even, but not just that, in front of the whole world. There's a certain level of disrespect and a certain level of prejudice that really comes with that. Now, we know we're from a culture where, dark-skinned people are often looked down upon, and we make jokes about it, but you don't understand how these persons internalize these kind of things. You're black and ugly. I'm sure you've heard that. Being from Jamaica, you hear people say that all the time. And a lot of time there is that, you hear that in your conversation, even though you're joking, it's not funny. Also, you have a wonderful thing going. A lot of people are impressed. A lot of people like your show. But you have to understand that you cannot continue to emasculate your husband. You understand? When you're building together, you don't understand men. A lot of men take these things and they hold it inside. They hold on to it. And you say, why would someone flare up and behave this way? Because it's a residual thing. So the years of disrespect, though you might not intend that, but those years of disrespect eventually become like a cancer in the person. And so I'm not here to defend CMR. He's a man, he can defend himself. But a lot of times too, guys, be honest. You say that people are hating on you and people are jealous of you and people are bad mind. And in some case that might be, but you also have to take responsibility on your own behavior too, because there are times when you clearly are, putting statements out there and you're shading other folks and you don't like it for yourself. Now, with everything you're doing and you're building your platform and doing so well and people absolutely love you, I can't tell you the amount of time I've watched and laughed so hard. And I do love the fact that, Chrissy, you are a straight shooter, but still that does not give you the right to really disrespect your partner in the ways you have. Now, you can learn and grow, and no one is asking you to be something that you're not and to be fake, but we can't continue to insult other persons or be careless in the way we deal with other folks and say, well, this is who I am, you have to accept me. If that be the case, then your husband can continue to do things that you don't like, and then he can use the excuse to say, accept me or leave me. Okay, so whatever goes on in your own personal situation with you and your husband, even if it's performance and we're watching it and it's for entertainment and it makes people talk, that's one thing. But when it comes to the kids, I have a big problem. And as a woman who have experienced racism and see how much we come out and say Black Lives Matter, and we come out and we attack somebody when they use the N word, and yet we freely use it. It's hypocritical. There is such a thing as brown racism. And, in Jamaica, we know how the culture is, how people who are darker skinned are treated. And so though I know you love your children, you cannot be careless in the way you continue to have this conversation. You are married to a dark-skinned Black man, and sometimes the things you say is as if you have a problem with it. And again, you're saying, I'm joking. It's not funny, Chrissy. Even though you might not have any ill intention or mean any harm, it is not positive for dark-skinned kids or Black kids altogether to be hearing that they're being compared, their father is being compared to a monkey. Okay, they did that to Black people all these years. They talked about her lips and they talk about her nose, and and sometimes we do it. Sometimes we will tease another person. I'm not saying that I'm not guilty. Recently I referred to one of the leaders in Jamaica as Big Nose. It wasn't very nice. It wasn't kind. I thought about it afterwards. I'm thinking those are the features of African people. And yet I'm guilty of that. I said something and I had to say to myself, okay, I take that back. I should never say that because he didn't make himself. Do you understand? So I'm not perfect, but I'm just saying, while I might say this about an adult, I'm very cautious about saying this thing because another child who might have those same features might feel a certain way about it. So we are all responsible in building our children low or high self-esteem. And one of the best ways to do that is to always let them feel beautiful. And when you think they're not listening, they're listening, Chrissy. So I want to continue to support you and to say big up yourself, you and your beautiful family. But I also want to say to you that when you're growing and you're climbing the stairs of success, be mindful. Be mindful about how you go about doing some of these things and what you're saying, because once you see it, you cannot take it back. I didn't finish listening that video because it really turned me off, to be honest with you, to be referring to your, saying your husband, is dark skin and therefore the monkey is his family. We are all Black, different shade of Black. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and you married him knowing that his skin was dark. And as I said before, you do it all the time without even realizing. And so you have to make a conscious decision not to do that anymore. Once again, the argument here is that you, Chrissy, need to be mindful about some of the things you say about your husband as it relates to his skin color. Saying that he's a spot on the wall, saying that, he's going to see his monkey family is not very kind. I don't care how jovial it is and how much he can laugh about it. It's not very kind. And also, you need to be careful and look at your husband's face. Because a lot of times you say things and he's hurt by it, but you don't notice because you're busy laughing. You see his face, his whole demeanor changes. Be mindful of that. We have to ask for respect, but we have to give it also. Stay blessed, everyone.